Hello, Brother Monroe here. Starting a new series. Apologies for the complete lack of updates, primarily due to my pathetically rubbish internet. I realised that it would take me hours to upload a short 30-minute video, but I should, well, if you're seeing this, I now have access to a decent connection to borrow to upload things, so don't expect updates regularly. But I will try and do maybe one video a week. I think is realistic, but no promises. So I thought the series I enjoyed the most when I was still doing the damn videos was Victoria 1. Now Victoria 2, when it came out, I didn't actually like it very much. Sorry, Paradox. But I haven't played it since the 2 expansions, and I haven't played it with mods. So I'm going to be doing this Let's Play with Victoria 2, with House Divided and Heart of Darkness, and the Pop Demand mod, which seems to be the closest thing to the Victoria Improvement Project for the old game. Now, a little bit unusually, I'm not going to start in 1836. I have already been playing around with this because, unlike original Victoria, I am not familiar with Victoria 2 by any means. I played one game which got to 1900 and then just crashed on a particular date, and I don't know why. And I have played, as you can see, about 4 years worth of the game with the mod install, and it does seem to be playable. So all that's really happened is I've cleaned up a few things and I've acquired Hong Kong. It was just to see how the historical events fire, and it seems to play like old Victoria, which is what I was after. So I'll just jump straight in. I also spent some time reorganising all the armies and all the navies and all this sort of boring stuff, which takes a really long time, but isn't that interesting to watch. So, state of the world at the moment is fairly peaceful. Just some stuff going on over in America that no one cares about. In terms of the master plan, the Liberal Revolution event has just fired. I kind of wanted to save it so you could see that, but for some reason it wouldn't let me save, and with a big newspaper pop-up, which was annoying, but never mind. Obviously, as Britain, we want to secure India, which means we might, well, I've already taken them on once, and they're not that scary, so we'll be having to take on the Sikh Empire and the rest of what will become Pakistan, so Sindh, Kalat, Makran, and possibly Afghanistan, depending on what this lot do. We'll obviously get events with China, which interestingly in this starts as one big empire rather than all split up. We've obviously already ensured the free trade of to various other places. Obviously we're going to be wanting to colonize New Zealand quickly. I'm waiting for a tech invention to fire so I can finish colonizing Canada and New Zealand, and I'm going to play as peacefully with as little infamy as possible, which, being Victoria, will probably mean I'm not going to be playing peacefully at all, and I'm probably going to end up conquering half of Southeast Asia, but meh. So Britain plan is simply make sure if there's a big war in Europe, we are not involved. And if we are, block them off and steal all their colonies. Okay, I'll start the game. It seems to be speed 3 is a reasonable... Portugal has gone bankrupt and claims they owe us nothing. We must use our military might to safeguard our investors. Well, I'm allied with Portugal, I think. Cut down to size and add to sphere are my 2 options, but I'm already allied with them, so we'll just let them off of that. One thing I have noticed is money in this. Now, if this was the base game and I had plus £3,500 per day, I would be like, oh, I better do something about that. Although I think I will actually. Money is worth 10 times less in a pop demand mod, which is cool. Actually, seems more or less. Okay, so we've got a bankrupt factory in Colonial. Okay, I'm just going to close that factory. So the Conservatives won an overwhelming majority in the last election, 80%, something like that. However, I really don't want to play with the Conservatives because protectionist, no. Interventionism, okay. Moralism, really no. Limited citizenship is fine, and pro-military is not the end of the world, but that is just awful. A group of British United States is... excellent. So, liberal stronghold, all pops in Wales become more liberal. Good for you, Wales. We need more liberals. I'm tempted to use my national focus to increase liberalness, but I think that worked in the vanilla game. I'm not sure it will work. It didn't seem to work particularly effectively when I ran it for a little bit, so I'm going to wait for events to fire, which will make people more liberal anyway, and we get socialists and stuff. Okay, so liberal, more support in the upper house, that's good. Gains off the Conservatives, excellent. So that's what we're after. Probably when the Whigs disappear and they turn into the Liberals, we'll get a bit more of a chance. The Daily Telegraph. Local politicians love life, far beyond the confines of home and wife. While it isn't slanderous per se, it is having a clear impact on the reputation and good name of the politician in question. The public has found the incident amusing. Okay, a bit different to how people react these days. Shutting down the paper will rouse liberals, but not doing it will increase support for press reforms. So I can either have more people in favour of free press and liberal, or I can make people angry. So, because I want people to be liberal, and I want free press eventually. So yes, I guess we caught him with his pants down. Excellent. Investigative journalism at its finest, not at all shady tabloid nonsense. Generally speaking, I like to play fairly hands-off with the factories, particularly because I haven't tried playing as a state capitalism or planned economy country, and I have a feeling that would be complicated. We can create a state in British Guatemala. Yes, let's do that. And I should get, so a little bit of colonial power back. I finally sort of worked out how the colonial power works after about 100 years playing in the other game that I played on vanilla. So basically I need a huge navy. If I have a huge navy, then I can have a lot of free colonial power. I've got plenty at the moment though. And my naval supply limit is set by my naval bases, but I don't know if they've adjusted the requirements, and because when you jump to, say, cruisers and battleships, these requirements get ridiculously enormous, and you have to build level 5 naval ports everywhere, which is a bit ridiculous. Attack on the workhouse. Several workhouse buildings have been looted. What is the government's position? We can say there were legitimate grievances, or it was an unprovoked attack. So I definitely I'm never going to pick stuff that gives militancy. That is bad. I want more liberals. So, yeah, Wales is now a very liberal place. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a large population. Okay, so New Zealand. improved local conditions, angered the Maori population who resent the European presence, and accused the British of breaking the Treaty of... Okay, I'm not even going to bother. All in the name of progress. Only get one option. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so this is actually a really nice event for me, because all New Zealand provinces now gain 5 life rating, so I no longer have to wait for the what's it called? Proxylism against malaria thing. Yeah, I'm researching ideological thought, by the way, so I can get more research point growth. Where is medicine? There we go. Yeah, this one, which will reduce life rating by 5 that I can colonize. So this should mean... Oh, okay, only ones with a New Zealand core. So just that now has a life rating of 35. Okay, well, that's not as good as I thought it was. Newspaper, I'm not going to read these every time. Nothing interesting. Okay, they're fairly interesting if you want them to read them. The newspapers are much improved in this as well. I know they're dynamically generated, but they seem to have done some cool stuff in terms of what feeds into the newspapers. Right. Scientists have discovered pharmaceuticals. Before we can get to that, colliery disaster. Do we want to blame the local management, which makes everyone very conscious? This is not bad. Or so I can have my bureaucrats, capitalists, and clerks, so the middle class, become more conscious, or blame the labourers and have everyone getting consciousness. Now, consciousness isn't a bad thing as far as I can work out. Okay, they were carelessly lit lantern. The labourers were careless. Now I'm picking this not because I would normally pick that one, but this consciousness everywhere, that's really what I'm after. Okay, so a new factory, pharmaceutical plant. I'll tell the capitalists to get right on that. I am encouraging capitalists in Southeast England and the Midlands. Those are my 2 national focuses at the moment. If you know a better use of national focus, then just let me know in the comments. Because again, I'm not really sure. Oh, all of this is uncolonized. Cool. I'm not going to bother. I'm going to try and stick to a vaguely historical route. One slightly ahistorical thing I did just to see what the infamy system was like was when I played Vanilla Victory, you can end up fighting the Sikh Empire and Johor, which was here, straight away. So I absorbed Johor fairly easily. Mobilization size. Okay, fine. Police parade. Police parade. Okay. So I can either gain prestige or make people lose consciousness. No, we're going to gain prestige. Very prestigious event. Definitely don't want people losing consciousness. Holy site disturbed. This one comes up a lot in vanilla. I don't know if they've reduced the chance of this coming up. It's just a bad event. This one is terrible. This one is bad, but better than the other one. Okay, so whoever, just no. Right, there we go. I'm just going to close factories that go bankrupt because, meh, unless they're like really important to me, like an advanced one that's producing ships or artillery or something like that. But if it's just like a canned goods factory or something, I don't really care. Got plenty of them. That's what the free market's for. There's another one in Colonial. Nope. Yeah. So Ireland has mostly when I was reorganising stuff, I tried to have local troops. I don't know if that's a good plan or not, but certainly their recruitment in this is a lot better. So, for instance, in India I have actual Indian troops. Well, after I went around and fixed everything anyway. Chartists. Oh, great. Ulster becomes more liberal, or suppress them. No. We'll go. Meh. We'll let them exist because they're making people more liberal. I suppose they might have a point. Not that liberal though. Still like 65%. Liberalism isn't that bad at the moment. Of course, my voting... Ooh, excellent. Railways, as they should be called, +1, that's very, very good. Now the capitalists should start on that very quickly. So voting system, I'm probably not going to attempt to change, or the upper house, but I definitely want to go for universal on the vote franchise when I can. Prospector sites coal. Aberdeen can change its production to coal. It currently produces wool, so yes. Excellent. This event seems to fire even if you have quite a nice Huzzah in the province. I'm not quite sure what the criteria for it are, but it's nice that happens rather than just, oh, we found rubber, and you get a choice as well. But generally iron and coal is a good thing. Okay, so the Netherlands are off doing their thing. Yeah, so capitalists are off building stuff. I would imagine they've started building railways already. Yeah, they have. I can check. Yeah. Oops. Okay, so technology. We now have... Which technology was it we got? Ideological thought. So we can have another national focus, more diplomatic influence, and I can grab stuff. Oh, we got a decision as well. Cool. Okay, so I can... New ideology? No. I like the rights of man. It's a good ideology. Napoleon I returns. Okay, he's been reburied in France. Fair enough. I was getting extremely worried there that they'd added some really ahistorical stuff. Okay, so Southeast England, a small arms factory has closed. Now, small arms, I kind of need them, I think. Okay, there are a lot more goods in this, which makes it a little bit more difficult. Okay, so why not? So deselect all, and then fine. I think it's my only small arms factory. Yeah, it is. So that needs to stay open, and just hire some bloody people into it, you idiots. I'll subsidize it, and we'll pay for an expansion as well. That should keep it in production. So key military items like that. The new ideology. New ideas. See, this is coming up as an available one, unlike Restore the Academia, which you can choose any old time. And this one is... What's it do? Okay, fair enough. Okay, we'll see. So these 3. I don't want to change my national value. I'm pretty sure it's order. I don't even know where I look for that.